The following program is for adult audiences only.
It'd be easier for me Hello and welcome, everyone. Time for another episode of the Flavorist Diary. Yeah, I moved from Pennsylvania to Ohio. Not really. I mean, temporarily for the next 2 years, but I only got like a fourth of the stuff here that I need to actually move. But yeah, I'm here and I got the studio all up and running, so it's time for us to get back into doing some live mixing. Mixing and Chilling is the show we normally do on Tuesdays, but we only do a little bit of mixing right at the very end of it thing. This show is exclusively dedicated to DIY mixing your own e-liquids. And quite honestly, if you guys have been mixing for any length of time, it's just only a matter of time before one of your friends goes, "Hey man, I can't get this stuff anymore. Could you like come up with something to like, you know, give me something close to what I've like used to love, something close to what my all-day vape is?" I mean, it ain't about me trying to save money. It's about the fact that I can't get what I want. I can't get what I need to not smoke cigarettes. So, yeah, sure, I'll be happy to hook you up. But for me, naturally, the first time somebody asks me to make them something, it's something that I don't normally vape as my favorite flavor profile. It's a tobacco-based e-liquid. So on Tuesday's show, on the vlog, we did mix up 2 different tobacco recipes. Thank you, Neil Pitts. I really appreciate, you sending over that little recipe for us so that we could have something that, looks like it's going to be a banger. We don't really know yet because I haven't tasted it. I mean, you know yourself, when you shake and vape something, even if it's a banger, it's still not going to be 100% perfect right off the bat, because in 24 hours, if it was, it no longer is. So I've taken the position of, unless I'm doing it live on the show just to get an initial impression of it, to determine, okay, well, we all know that if it sucks, there is very, very slim to no chance that it's actually going to be a banger. So, we do initially do a shake and vape and test it and taste it, but there's really no point in it because in 24 hours, it's going to change. Sometimes it changes just a wee little bit. Sometimes it gets a wee little bit better. Sometimes it gets a wee little bit worse. And sometimes it just sucks outright. And quite honestly, if you guys have been mixing for any length of time, you know that you've got as many bad recipes as you have good ones. And as time goes on, the ratio changes a little bit. But nobody is out there capable of making a banger every single recipe that they do. The one that we look up to all the time is Wayne, and he's been MIA for a while. I hope the guy's doing all right. But like, I even miss like watching his shows when he mixes and stuff, because just looking at people's recipes and, you can get an idea of like, what is going to be a good recipe? What is going to really suck about a recipe? I mean, you get past the basics and the fundamentals of knowing what the range of percentages are for certain flavorings that you have. And you start off by saying, okay, well, like Flavor Art, Flavora, and like some of the wonder flavors, super concentrates, you need to keep those percentages really low. Otherwise, you muddle recipes and, you don't even get the original flavor name that's on the bottle. But, I'm no expert mixer. That's why this show is called The Flavorist Diary, because this show is just about my experience mixing and tasting and testing things. And, well, the focus today is mixing for friends, because when they ask you to mix something, there's a good chance that it's not going to be anything that you normally have tried to mix for yourself, because it's not something that really tickles your fancy. Or maybe it is. Maybe you're one of the lucky ones out there. But for me, tobacco is never one that I've wanted to taste. When I quit smoking, I wanted nothing to do with tobacco ever again. And then, flavors, Darren sent me over a care package and some flavors, and included in that was some tobacco. And he sent me a recipe because he knows I love coffee. Well, inside of that coffee recipe was a tobacco flavor. And I'm like, really? I'll mix this thing up. And I tasted it and I'm like, wow, this is really good, but I don't really like this honey that's in there, man. It's just like, it's like such a potent flavor for me because like I love honey and I can taste it right away. And for me, it was just like it kind of odd being inside of a, nice, creamy, strong coffee. Kind of in a cappuccino. It certainly wasn't towards the thing of a latte because lattes have way more milk and cream to it. But it was a really good e-liquid that, I plowed through 120 ml bottles of it and I made it a couple more times. But inside of that recipe was a tobacco. And it like dawned on me like, okay, well, tobacco isn't the tobacco I'm used to thinking. It's not, dirty ashtray. It's not tar flavor. There are other nuances to the tobacco flavors that are out there. And sometimes it's really good to put those tobacco flavors into our recipes to give it those nuances and complexities that have people scratching their head going, what flavorings did you put in this thing? So, yeah, well, time to get over the fear I have of mixing with tobacco flavors. Time for us to go and actually taste the flavors that we mixed up on Tuesday. See if they're any good. See if they're too weak or too strong or just about right. And then we're going to try and develop those into something that I feel comfortable sending to him and hoping that the guy likes it. I mean, there's no guarantees of anything because your taste buds and my taste buds and his taste buds are all completely different. What we're sensitive to, what we have food aversions to, all play a role in whether we love or hate something. So that's the reality. I'm kind of single-mindedly, got my blinders on and walking into this thing focused. If you guys have any different experiences than I do, please feel free to drop them in chat so that, we can all share and learn from this experience because that's what this is all about. This is all about, building that community, that vaping community, the community of ex-smokers who are now forced to making our own e-liquids. Yes, for now, for the time being, we all have sources where we can access these products, but there's no guarantee in 5 or 10 years that that's going to still be a reality. In 5 or 10 years, the legislatures and the big tobacco oligarchs that are, forcing these regulations to be put into place, forcing PMTA applications to be put into products that are proven as a class to never be as harmful as the deadly product that we use to not consume anymore. So there's no guarantees. So even for those people that are happy right now, you got, half a dozen vape shops around you that you can go and get whatever you want, and you're willing to pay the extortion fee that your state charges for these products. More power to you, but I still think that it would behoove you to learn how to do this. It really doesn't take that much to get started in it. And, you might be able to come up with something that is better than anything you've ever bought on the, commercial market before. Anyway, now I'm just starting to ramble on and on. So I guess we should just, flip it over and go take a look at this thing because I had a heck of a time this morning and it's just... My goodness. This is the mess I have before me. And like... I had to go get another cup of coffee. This is literally my second cup of coffee, and normally by the time I get done to do a live show, I'm usually on my third or fourth one. It comes from being a paramedic for almost 2 decades, and how many pots of coffee I would go through normally during the course of the day there. Not because I was trying to stay awake. It was just, that's my beverage of choice. All right, let's get rid of this little distracting scene up here because Kenny does not join us on the mixing show. I do need to get Nick the 420 Kid. I do need to create that link for you and get you set up inside of OBS. I will be doing that after the show today, and then I'll be reaching out to you. I do need to make a trip to Pennsylvania and get another load of stuff. I need to go get the product that Oxbar sent me so that I can get that review started. And it's just a constant juggling act these days. This is not what I thought that, life was going to be like this time of year. Regardless, I finally got around to putting together all the stuff that I just got done cleaning out, and wow, like some lessons that I completely forgot about. Like, you know, look at the screws that we have in these things. It makes a big difference whether they use stainless steel screws for something like this or they don't. Because when they use, you know, junk metal screws and you leave it sit to soak overnight, they start to rust. And like, this is the Kylan. And now that screw is all rusted. And yeah, I can still clean it and I can still use it, but this is the Kylan M. And I love mesh, but I can never get mesh to last as long as, you know, your stock coil setup. I can go literally weeks on stock coils. Mesh, 3 to 5 days is the max I can get out of it before you start getting a hot spot. And you know yourself, as soon as you start getting a hot spot on mesh, you can get a dry hit and it just totally turns you off to the whole idea of vaping. So I had to sort out all these lovely drippers and stuff, because we definitely do need, you know, a dripper for us to be able to taste this stuff on. So we'll start with this one. This is the Bushido V3. I really wish I could have bought more of these things at the time, because it's a flip top dripper. Flip top dripper, and it's got checkmark airflow system where the airflow comes down into a little well, and then there, at the bottom of that well is like a 45 degree and 90 degree angle where the airflow comes back up, and then the slot that you have for your airflow is actually higher than the base of that. So if you over drip this, the juice just sits in that little well, and simple physics keeps it from leaking out the side because, you know, surface tension of your liquid and stuff like that. Anyway, I need to throw some cotton in there, and let's get some of their BP Mods cotton. Make sure this is the 2.5. Nope, that's the 3. I should probably get the Sharpie right on the top of this, what this is, which one is which. So I can always grab the right one. We just take a little bit of it out. Grab our scissors. I only need a little bit. Awesome sauce. I'm going to throw this in there because we got 2 liquids that we need to taste today. We've got menthol tobacco, Kreed's Indulgence, which definitely not going to be completely ready because this has some custard flavors in it, and that's going to take a couple weeks to go, but we should, you know, get a general idea of what it's like. And then we got Hunky Smoke. I think Neil was the one that sent me that recipe, and we mix that sucker up, and we're going to give that one a try first and see what she tastes like. If I can get this wicked into this tiny little coil. Come on. That's what I miss about Fireball cotton, man. Fireball cotton was great for trying to just throw some shoelace cotton into little 2.5 mil coils. Hold on. I think I need some tweezers. It's like sewing, you know, you gotta get rid of the little extra strands. Come on now. What's the deal here? Is there like leftover cotton inside this thing? Why does this not want to go through? Interesting. Pulled right through that way. All right. Take the little end off. We'll just drop it in there because it doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need. All right. Hunky smoke. What's this knuckle taste like? It's tasty. Doesn't taste like smoke, I'll tell you that, man. Just paint that on there. Oh, what are we throwing this on? That one's got batteries in it. Smock Scar 18. It's way too big for this mod, but we're not here for aesthetics. We're here for flavor. Yeah, new coil. All right, where are we at? Because this is such a small coil. Wattage is locked at 55. That's not going to work. This thing is reading 1 ohms. Go down to 15. I like it. It is not what I would expect a menthol, or not a menthol, but like a tobacco flavor to taste like. It's a little pepperminty. Let's go look at that recipe. Okay, let's jump over and pull up ELR. Pull up the recipe, Hunky Smoke. Yeah, that creme de mint is definitely what I'm tasting. Not really getting this tobacco. 3% of sweet tobacco and 1% of Flavora's mild tobacco. Sean Lynch, hello and welcome. Cheryl Demers, hello and welcome. Okay, you guys, have any of you guys out there mixed tobacco flavors? Is tobacco flavors like, you know, your creams and stuff? Is it something that takes a little bit of time to steep in? Or do you instantly recognize tobacco flavors when you use them in your recipes? Like the primary flavor that I'm tasting is this creme de menthe or creme de mint. All right, well, I guess we're going to have to do like other people do when they're, you know, they don't watch this kind of stuff and they're just learning how to do it themselves. Let's go and look at the actual notes for each of these flavoring components we have in this recipe. See what people say about this. Preferred single flavor mix is 1%. This is one of the best RY4s around, if that wasn't the intention. Not as thin as TFA's RY4, not as dirty as Jungle Flavors. Mild tobacco from Flavora. This is pretty strong and potent stuff. Take the mild in the title with just a pinch of salt. Like, I'm getting the tobacco mouthfeel, But there's like no odor to tobacco. There's... Okay, well, I guess maybe now that the saliva's washed the pepperminty chocolate off of my mouth, the residual flavor, I guess, is the tobacco. I mean, it's been so long since I've had a cigarette, I don't even really know what a tobacco taste is. I just know what, a smoker smells like. Cheryl's like, I don't like tobacco flavors. They taste like ashtrays. Well, this liquid does not taste like an ashtray. It has that weird, like, mouthfeel that I had when, if you wake up first thing in the morning and you had your first cigarette and then you went to go and drink your coffee, you know how your mouth is, like, kind of dried out, but there's kind of like this coating on your mouth. And it's weird doing this mixing right now for something that is a flavor profile that, it doesn't, like, turn me off, but it does nothing for me. And why this kid insists on, menthol tobacco? The best I can come up with is the fact that when he's around his dad, that's what his dad smokes. So, he probably smells that mentholy tobacco flavor and just assumed that since he's vaping and, flavors are only for kids, maybe he bought the propaganda. I don't really know, man. I think I maybe met this kid like once or twice, but that was like a decade ago. Now he's a full-fledged, adult out there, and this is what he wants to vape. And I think he's doing it through, a stock coil mouth-to-lung jobby like this. So I'm trying to take that into consideration as well, because it's like, how are you using a stock coil mouth-to-lung tank in only 1.3 milligram? Like, some of the stuff he's asking for and saying just doesn't seem to make sense to me. But, I'm trying to aim to please here. I don't know. Everybody says that this is a mild tobacco flavor, is pretty strong. This is a mild blonde tobacco, if that makes sense. Preferred single flavor mix is 2.5%. Well, this isn't a single flavor one. This is... in our recipe, let's jump back and forth. Let me pull up the recipe in another tab. So there's our recipe that we're doing. I mean, Neil put in the mild tobacco from Flavora at 1%, which some people are using as a single flavor ingredient to essentially one-shot their e-liquid. And in addition to that, we have Purellum sweet tobacco at 3%. So, like, everybody's saying single flavor mix is 1%. And normally when you add it as a secondary ingredient in a recipe, you normally, like, use less than what the single flavor concentration is for that flavoring. Okay. So let's look at the sweet tobacco from Purellum. What's the note say about that? Preferred single flavor, 5%, 3%, 4%, 5%. Just perusing down through here, 7%. Smell, taste, feel. Tester bottle aroma, moderate. Strong aroma intensity, sweet. Toasted nuts. See, I'm not getting any of that kind of toasted nut aspect to it. I'm literally getting the creme de menthe or creme de mint and... I guess a tobacco mouthfeel. So, I think I'm just going to mix up a 60 ml bottle of this and send it to him and let him decide and tell me what his impression of it is. Because, like, if you're going to be mixing for a friend, there's no guarantee you're going to send him anything he likes. You might send him something that he likes, but he wants more of this or more of that. And it's like any other communication. You got to start somewhere, and this is a good place to start, I guess. We may need to sub out this creme de menthe with, just some simple menthol. Keep it, ultra simple, and maybe I'll just mix up a recipe like that once we narrow down, because I think I'm going to have to single flavor test these tobaccos to find out, you know, what is exactly it is that I'm supposed to be tasting. I don't want to ruin my palate by doing that first. And come up with something that I can send them that's literally just a tobacco menthol. Because the other recipe that we had mixed up was a Kreed's Indulgence menthol. This one's got caramel coffee with sweet milk, custard premium, has actual menthol in it from Flavor Art, has Purellum sweet tobacco. It also at 3%. Like, if I'm not tasting the sweet tobacco in this one at 3% and 1% of the Flavor Art tobacco, I'm certainly not going to be getting a tobacco flavor out of this recipe, because this recipe is primarily caramel coffee, sweet milk, and custard, and toasted coconut cheesecake. The tobacco in this one, to me, is just kind of like an accent flavor, and maybe most of the tobacco flavors that are available on the market are like this. Maybe they're mostly designed to be like pipe tobacco flavors, where you get this pleasant aroma that fills the room of something that you totally enjoy and don't really get anything that we would shun away from as tobacco-y flavors. I don't know. Let's just throw that on here. Holy cow, is that creme de mint really punchy? Like, I just got a little bit of spitback off of that coil, and instantly I recognize it's like a peppermint patty. You cannot ignore a peppermint patty flavor in your profile. It might be something that, as a purist, he may really enjoy, because it might just be a twist on what he thinks a tobacco menthol should be like. I don't know. Let's try this Kreed's Indulgence menthol. We just throw that on there. Okay, now this one is completely different. Even adding it onto that other one, that initial drag I got of this one did still have some of that pepperminty characteristic. But I legit saturated and soaked that coil to the point where I could hear that checkmark airflow in there gurgling, meaning there's that much fluid inside there that washed off of the coil. And now I definitely recognize the menthol in this one. This is truly a menthol, as opposed to like a pepperminty or a minty flavor. Tim and Z, hello and welcome. 4:30 in the morning over there in New Zealand. Damn, boy, you up early. I didn't go to bed last night. Well, I went to bed earlier than when I fell asleep. I didn't fall asleep until 4 o'clock in the morning. I kind of like this recipe. There's no sweetness to it whatsoever. I'm trying to figure out which is the dominant flavor profile. I'm not really getting anything specifically identifiable. That Flavor Art Custard Premium is definitely going to take about a month before I can recognize it, you know, as a custard in this recipe. I kind of see what it's doing in the recipe now, because I recognize that incomplete flavor, but it's not like, you know, anything I would recognize and say, oh, that's definitely a custard, if I didn't know how to mix. Like, to me, custard, when you first mix it in recipes, is kind of an off-putting flavor until it turns into an actual custard or an actual pudding, depending on the sweetness you have in there. The forefront flavor on this one is the menthol. And then your mouthfeel is kind of like, it's not cereal, it's not bakery. Robert Lawyer, hello and welcome. It's really interesting. Like, the tobacco that's in here, I can recognize that flavor profile as the tobacco that I tasted in the other recipe. And it's actually stronger in this one than it is in the other one. And the other one had 2 different tobaccos in there. This one's got toasted coconut cheesecake, and maybe that flavor profile is playing off of the sweet tobacco. I need to find a way to get over my misconception about what is tobacco flavor when you're talking about it in a vape. It's not obviously the same thing as, lighting tobacco and combusting that and breathing that in and try and associate that flavor from the flavor that you are recognizing in this. That caramel coffee with the sweet milk. The milk isn't fully developed in this recipe yet. It does round out that harshness that you could get from caramel and you can get individually from coffee. I've had caramel coffee with sweet milk as a one-shot mix that I've tasted myself, so I know it and I enjoy it. Been a while, but I mean, it's a simple flavor profile that you should be able to recognize. And I really like this recipe. And I'm just going to mix him up a 60 ml of this and call it a day as well. Because this one definitely is recognizable as a menthol. This isn't, any kind of pepperminty or minty or... And there's no cooling sensation to it like you would get with WS3 or WS23. Menthol is definitely recognizable. It's got that tobacco-y mouthfeel as well. Not quite drying your mouth out, but it kind of coats your whole palate. It's a good tobacco recipe as far as I can tell. So, okay. Those 2 are really good the way they sit. I'm not going to try and tweak it because I really wouldn't know what to tweak. I know what I would want to do for this one, for the original recipe, the Hunky Smoke. I would want to minimize that creme de menthe flavor. And I would want to increase the tobacco, but we're already pushing sweet tobacco at its suggested single flavor concentration. We're already mixing Flavora's mild tobacco at its single flavor concentration. We got 2 different tobaccos at full strength. That's 4% of the recipe. The creme de menthe is only 1.5%. And flavors is typically one that's usually a little bit on the weaker side of other ones. I mean, I can't say weaker because some of the TFA flavors, you got to push a 10 or 12% to get, recognizable characteristics you want out of it. Flavors, everything I've tested from flavors is at the correct strength at 5%. 2 or 3 of them benefit from going to 7%, but it doesn't make your flavor profile any different, any better. It's just, they hold up better when you add them to other recipes and other ingredients. That's one thing I really I wish I could get flavors more than what I've gotten in inventory now. Because I really enjoyed mixing with his. I could develop recipes with his easy. Whereas when I try and use other ingredients, other manufacturers, it was such a struggle because it's use Wonder Flavors, one of the ingredients at 0.5%, and the other one's at 3%. And the 0.5% one's stronger than the 3% one, which shouldn't be a situation with Wonder Flavors, but it is for some of their things. All right, man. This actually went a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. Both of these, I don't really need to tweak them because I wouldn't know what to tweak. So I'm going to send them over, and I guess we're just going to just do another random recipe, and we'll do a couple of them, because before we do that, though, I need to make another one of this slurricane. So let's actually do some mixing. I love this thing. I love this slurricane. It's just like, and I love this Asgard, man. And boy, is that beautiful on the Republic. And I love how fact the juice well is in here so deep. Like normally when you have a squonker, you literally have to squonk it almost every single time before you take a drag. You can take like maybe 2 or 3 drags, and then you got to squonk it again. That slurricane really shines in here. I don't know if it's the honeycomb airflows. I don't know exactly what it is, but this Asgard is a banger. If you still find this laying around your vape shop, or you don't have this, this is one that I would definitely highly recommend. The flavors are phenomenal inside this, and it's gorgeous. I like this better than I like the recoil. I mean, airflow smoother. It's more flavorful. Obviously, it makes it way more vapor than this one does. It's not the quietest tank out there. It's not the quietest dripper out there, but it doesn't whistle. All right, let's move this off to the side. And time to make another one of these. Another bottle of the slurricane. This and my cinnamon Danish swirl muffin are my bangers that I always turn to now. I mean, I've gotten completely away from the OG blue obsession that I've had for the longest time. I'm really, really content with this slurricane. Like it settles my sweet tooth, and it's a beautiful tropical-esque fruit medley where you don't like recognize the pineapple or any of the other ingredients. It's a unique fruity combination that I just totally love. All right. Need my scale. Thought I had everything ready for the show today. There's been so much going on around this house. I was out there yesterday trimming the hedges again, trying to get them down to a normal size. Some of those hedges were literally like 12 feet tall, especially by the driveway. I've whacked them down. Near the driveway, it's closer to 8 feet now, and the other end, it's actually down to like 6 foot. Except underneath the trees where the hedges don't like to grow. That's actually a little bit lower, but I don't count that part. It needed trim too, but not as drastically as this. All right, let's put that slurricane on there. We'll zero this out, and then I need to pull up the recipe, don't I? Yeah, this is the joys of being doing all this stuff live, because it's like, you know, everything that you're doing on the fly. Turn that off, turn that off. So you're seeing, you know, everything raw. It's more of a restricted direct lung. Yeah, the recoil definitely is more of a restricted direct lung. But I mean, realistically, if you've watched these people as long as I have, and you've watched their reviews and you've bought their products, you can actually rate them based upon how much airflow each of them loves. Like, you know exactly every single thing that Mike Vape used to put out. used to fall within this certain range of airflow, and it was always either your airflow or tighter than your airflow, or if you're a mouth to lung person, if you were like a P. Basardo vapor, it was way more airflow than you liked. You could literally stack the reviewers based upon their airflow preferences. Like anything Bogan's put out, I've always found way too restrictive. As soon as I take the very first chuff on something that Bogan made, I want to go get my drill bits, my micro drill bits, and I want to drill out those air holes and make them bigger. It's just, that's the kind of airflow that he likes. And he takes big, massive chuffs and big, massive clouds and does it all through something that restricted. It just fascinates me when people do stuff like that. Grim Green is a little bit looser preference as far as his products go than Bogan is. Mike Vapes was underneath him, but a lot of these people have diversified their things as they've gotten better in the technology aspect. The actual manufacturers, when they design these things, they try and develop a window of airflow. And that's what I really love about these things is even with the honeycomb airflow, you can have honeycomb airflow. You can literally just breathe like you're breathing now. Or you can turn that down and satisfy every single one of these people. The amount of performance in these things has really gone like through the roof. Anyway, I'm getting distracted here. Recipe, Slurricane. Go back to the original. There you go, man. That's why I love it so much, because it does have the ethyl maltol in there for the sweetener. It's got papaya in there, which you cannot recognize as a papaya. Sweet peach, yummy, delicious. The Saturn peach is totally different. Like, it shouldn't be called Saturn peach. You just should have called it Saturn, because you do not recognize Saturn peach as a peach. It's not. It's some exotic fruit like dragon fruit. You know that have you eaten dragon fruit? I've never eaten dragon fruit, but I use it in all kinds of recipes especially when I'm developing them to round out harsh notes and to add a little je ne sais quoi to the recipe and to muddle the flavors in a good way. There's muddling flavors in a bad way, like certain flavor combinations just don't work and turn into like rotten fruit. And there's other ones that you put in there and always improve the recipe, even if it's just a 0.25% or 0.5% added in there. Adds that curiosity characteristic that we love in our all-day vapes. Sweet guava and that papaya and that peach is the trio that's singing. The Saturn peach is that curiosity characteristic to it. And you got the sweet and sour with the cotton candy and the TPA sour. It's a beautiful balance of a recipe that just pops. And it's addictive. It truly is. All right. Anyway, there's the recipe. Let's go make another batch of it. All right. Now this one's set for 60 mils. I think I have one here. There you go. It's the exact same recipe, but this one's already preset for 120 mil bottle. And this one is set at 6 milligrams, so that's what we're gonna do. Kenny, nice to see you. Just popping in to say hi. Awesome to have you here, buddy. Let's say that again. Awesome to have you here, buddy. Kenny sent me a message the other night, WhatsApp, watching the news. Here, the BBC is now obfuscating the truth about vaping. They're still telling you the truth, but you got to read the fine print in the bottom of the scrolling, headline to catch the fact that, vaping is a good thing, not a bad thing. People drive me insane. All right. And I guess I need to fix that too. I need to create a separate OBS setup just for the mixing thing, so I don't have to keep, turning these things over and over and turning stuff off, turning stuff on. There. Less distracting. Center. OCD is a real thing, folks. It just drives you nuts sometimes. People would be like, why are you tweaking? Why are you messing with everything? Because it's just who I am. And I'm going to keep using my, ancient Nick. Because it doesn't bother me. So the color is going to be darker than what it is. I don't care. Hold on. Oh, let's switch this so I can see what's going on. Very nice. Now I can see the recipe. All right, so I need to add 7.5 grams of this to nick up the bottle. This is only a 5 milliliter syringe. See how dark that instantly got? It still works. Still keeps me from smoking cigarettes. Doesn't really change the flavor profile. Because I've made a bottle of this using the brand new stuff I just got. And I've made a bottle of this. And there really isn't that much difference. Is the new stuff cleaner? Sure. Of course it is. But this recipe is such a banger that using this old stuff doesn't really change that much. If you had two bottles side by side, I think psychologically you would say they're different because of the color, more so than you would be able to taste it if you were blindfolded and had to determine which one's better, which one's cleaner. All right, man. Well, I need to get cotton candy and papaya. Sour should be right here with my flavor modifiers. There's the sour. Super sweet I have here. And I could just use the Purellum. There's really no difference between Capella and Purellum. If anything, you could tell the Purellum is a little bit cleaner than Capella, but throwing it into this recipe, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between the two of them. It's a sweetener. You're getting the sucralose. That's what's doing the sweetening. The rest of it is irrelevant. Okay, so I need Capella's Sweet Guava and Sweet Peach from SSA. That's annoying, man. Looking for Sweet Peach? It's nowhere near the S's. It's near the P's because it's a peach. Sweet type. I should really make the... that's exactly what it is in there. I just copy and pasted it. That didn't work. All right, man. Hold on. Let's see if this camera situation works the way it's supposed to. Mouse? Mouse? Where's the mouse? Sorry, folks. I'm discombobulated. Need to get the mouse. I highlighted it. All right. Let's go get the flavors. Cotton candy papaya from TPA. And I need to switch this over because that's not automated. Gotta love technology when it doesn't cooperate. Cotton candy and papaya. Hey, what are you doing up there? You gotta love AI. It just doesn't work properly. Hi, camera. Hi, AI. Okay, we got the cotton candy and the papaya. I got the sweet peach from SSA. I need Saturn peach from Flavora. And Capella sweet guava. As you can tell, it's not on the shelf where it's supposed to be. There's a hole there where it belongs. I don't see it on my desk.
Walking down the street, the rain is pouring down. But my feet are walking to a different sound.
Plan B. Got a 120 ml bottle because I ordered 120 ml bottles of every flavoring that goes into this recipe since I love it so much. So where the 60 ml bottle is, I don't know, but I don't think it really matters at this point. As long as I have everything I need to mix it, we're off and running to the races. All right. For some reason, oh, I know why. Good. I had a theme for this. Anyway, cotton candy, we'll start with that one. From TPA. Man, it took so long for me to do this. The scale even timed out and powered down. 1.26 grams. Oops, I went over. That's all right. Papaya. Yum, yum, yum. Those of us here in the United States, you know, papaya isn't something that we regularly come across. I came across it because, you know, from Hungary and stuff. I had some when I was over there, and my mom was always into the exotic fruits that were out there. She always had kiwis in the house that she loved to eat, and papaya was one of the ones that she would get every once in a while. So it was a flavor profile that really grew on me, which is a good reason why I like it in here. It's a 3.5%, which is 4.33 grams. that one over as well. Okay, now we need our SSA Sweet Peach. That's at 1.25%, which is 1.5 grams. Couple more drops. Sour is the flavor modifier in here from TPA. This is just malic acid. You could technically make this yourself if you couldn't get TPA sour. Just get some malic acid, some PG, figure out, what percentage you want to use it at, how sour you want it, and go ahead and use it. Some of the flavorings that are out there already have malic acid in it because they need to give it that sour characteristic, and you don't really know that unless you understand that's what sour does and what malic acid does in recipes. 1.33 of this as well. It's a fun thing about, having a scientific mind is you understand how things work and you understand the facts that, when you understand a certain characteristic of something, you go, oh, well, then this definitely has to be true too. You can't have, a really punchy grapefruit without having some malic acid in that grapefruit recipe. And you get shocked sometimes. Like we did a flavor recipe the one time. We found out if you add 2 different flavors together as in equal proportions, you get a grapefruit flavor out of it. And neither one of those are grapefruity flavor to begin with. I can't recall off the top of my head exactly which those 2 were, but that stuck in my brain like, holy cow, you can take like an orange and a cranberry and put it together and get a grapefruit. Those aren't the 2 flavorings, but that's the shock I had at the time. Okay, now for the Saturn Peach. I've single flavor tested this one. I've knuckle tested this one, and this does not taste like a peach. If you look up a Saturn Peach, is like a squished down peach, but this does not taste like my idea of peach. Either eating a peach or drinking like a peach tea. This Saturn Peach is like totally foreign when it comes to that. Sneezy Smoke, hello and welcome. There is no carbon monoxide in vapor. Nah, there isn't, unless you're laying down on the ground in front of the tailpipe of your car that's running. That's the only way you're going to get it. And then you got to take a big chuffing inhale for it to be true. See? Science, man. You can make a blanket statement and I can find exactly what it would be to prove you wrong. Not because you're wrong, but because you can create situations to prove your point, which is what really irritates me about what they're doing with vaping in science right now. Like Clive Bates and Ariel Selna, they literally they do a search every single week for anything that's vape science, right? And they read all this stuff and they look at it and, they write up little summaries and stuff. And there's a whole bunch of us that's part of a nicotine consumer group out there that we subscribe to look and see what the science is on vaping. And every single week, it's like, oh my God, you got to read 24 and 36. There's like 50 new scientific papers that come out every single week. And they're all looking for harms where there is none. They're literally creating harm by the way that they do the science. And you can actually prove that to them. But they don't care because their funding comes from finding the harms. And you can find harm in anything. You can create a situation to make anything that's completely safe harmful. Laying out and sun tanning, there's people that can find harm in that. Oh, the sun's rays will kill you. That's why you got to put sunscreen on. Oh, sunscreen is horrible for you. Don't you know? If you put sunscreen on, it's got like titanium dioxide and a bunch of the other things in there, and that's bad for you. It can cause skin cancer and all kinds of genetic mutations. And if you want to find harm, you're going to find harm. That's not practical science. That doesn't help you and me to make sure that we get the right messaging from our government and from our public health authorities to encourage us to keep using these products non-smoke. It's a mixing show. I'm not supposed to be getting on a tangent about this. All right, Saturn Peach, 2.4 grams is what we need to put in here. I never thought in a million years whenever, I got into doing this thing that the whole ecosystem of people getting funded to kill the cure for smoking would be so big and so unrelenting to change. Even when they know they're wrong, they're not going to admit that they're wrong. Capella Sweet Guava, 4.32. Maybe the reason I had to get that there's no empty bottle up there, because maybe I used it all up. Because of all the things out there, the papaya and this sweet guava are the same. 4.33. Look at that, just pouring in there. Sweet guava complete. Now we just need a little bit of super sweet, 0.75%, which is going to be about a gram. Awesome sauceum. Give that a nice blend. Let's get our PG out. I need 13.7 to get us to our 70-30. Whoops. So it's a little thinner, a little more flavorful. You don't have to be precise. We're not making this commercially. We're making this for ourselves. Little variations here and there do not change the majority of what we're experiencing out of it. Oh. God, this is so punchy. And that beautiful medley of the peach and the Saturn peach and the guava. I wish this was a juice. Like a juice you can drink. Like every morning I have, a little shot of juice that I take with my supplement. And, or if I take a vitamin. I would love to buy this as an actual juice you could drink. And we're skipping straight to the gallon jug to top this off. 106. I'm just filling it up. That's simple. Because there was already some in the bottom. I won't actually be able to hit 106. That's literally to the brim. And I'm only 102. But that's okay. Snap that down. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Job done, man. Slurricane ready to go. That is awesome as a shake and vape, although definitely not 100% ready to vape until tomorrow. Because you got to give time for all those ingredients that we just put in there to reach an equilibrium. That means that they're equally spread out throughout the entire contents of your liquid. Sorry, I don't mean to talk down to you. You know science. Perfect. Slurricane. Ready to vape. I'll be taking that with me. Because, man, I love this thing. And like the coils that I put inside this thing, man, what an awesome experience. They pair perfectly with this. Okay. Sorry, I can't help it. I'm almost out. Look at that. There's only a little bit left in the bottom of that. I need to fill this up now. It's going to finish ripening inside my skunk bottle. calm down. You have time. You don't need to rush it. You're going to be wasting this slurricane by not letting the air escape. Give it a moment. Hold it on the edge. And slowly fill up the bottle. Okay, maybe it isn't just me brushing it. Maybe there's just a little bit of excess on there. See, this is a great idea, but, you know, giving you a way to fill this thing without having to pull the bottle off like you did on the all the classic recipes out there. Classic squonkers. Which I went to Brick City Vapors, North Olmsted, Ohio, and was like, listen, man, I really need to find some retro vapes. You're like the only shop left that still has old school retro quality vapes. Like, I need something. She hooked me up. She hooked me up really good. So, like, if you're in the Cleveland area, I highly recommend you stop by Brick City Vapors, North Olmsted, Ohio. It's on the west side of North Olmsted, almost out of North Olmsted, like almost bordering Olmsted Township. I don't even know what's west of there. Lorraine. Anyway. She hooked me up. We got enough retro vapes between what Neil sent me and what she hooked me up with. We got enough retro vapes to get us through the next couple months. On things that I have never had, never experienced, are definitely retro vapes. And got a couple squonkers in there. Rebuildables. I even have a stock coil or two. She just like, here, take it. Nobody's going to buy this. I got 40 of them left. Take one. Take one of these. Awesome. You know, the vape community is really an awesome group of people. Damn, that's good. Yeah, this is the problem I've been dealing with. This is for my beloved Blaze Pro Max RTA. Here's another one I have. I cracked the glass on. So, aw, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I got to go back to a straight glass on a tank that is going to suck the juice. And this is the one with the good O-ring in it. Okay, what's the deal? Line her up, drop it in, back thread, tighten her up. That one's fixed. Where's the other one? I had it here. The one with the broken O-ring. Where'd it go? All right, I'll deal with it after the show. Just, man, that sucks. Fortunately, you know, they hook you up whenever you buy your brand new one. So they gave you extra straight glass and the bubble glass. And just because I broke the bubble glass, that means I've got 2 more chances to be doing it. And most people don't know that you can remove this part to expose the stock coil that came with the Blaze Pro Max and your O-ring, tools, and grub screws, and the coil cutting tool. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that got this thing, and because of how tight this fits inside there, like, you really have to work to yank this thing out to get underneath it. They should have made this a smaller cutout because of the rounded lip on this box. But yeah, that was awesome. And I still have an original stock coil to throw in it. All right. That wraps up that section there. How about we roll the bumper for a random recipe and just make something random. As soon as I find the bumper. As soon as I find my mouse. I need to create a hotkey to bring the mouse back to a certain screen. Come on. There we go. Random recipe bumper. Hot diggity dog diggity. 928 flavors is what my current stash is sitting at. We should be able to pull up about 27 or 28,000 e-liquid recipes that other people have mixed and shared with the community. It doesn't include the recipes that people have made private because they're bangers and they sold it to some company to sell commercially. Yeah, Brick City Vapors, North Olmsted, Ohio is where I love to go. They have a whole bunch of older stuff. Some of them are clones at the time because, you know, she was trying to get whatever she can get her hands on. And she's got drawers full of old stuff sitting there. And she's obviously got, you know, them on display in an overhead rack. Like, I got Kenny the Diadalis to be able to make his own coils. So if any of you out there wanted to buy the Diadalis, I'm sure you could Google it and find the phone number for the shop, give her a call, and she'd be happy to sell it to you and, you know, get it to you. Obviously, you're going to have to pay for the shipping or walk into the store. But, I mean, if you live in Austin, Texas, and you want the Diadalis, it's not going to pay for you to drive up here to go visit her store. You could probably just give her a call and, you know, tell her that Hunky Vape sent you, Hunky V sent you, and, you know, Alex wants you to be able to enjoy the Diadalis. Whenever I get the rest of the studio stuff here, I think we will do that one of these days because I do want to get into making my own coils. And it takes a little time and a little finesse to get everything just right. So I'm going to pull out the Diadalis one of these days, and we're going to sit there and try and use that to make just some simple fused Clapton coils and see if we can get the tension right on it. And now that I've got a 3D printer, let's see if I can improve on the design that already existed for that, because that was always an annoying thing is, you know, they give you this little setup that was supposed to be used like a die to help you Clapton your coils. And the center pin on that was literally just like the same as a pencil rod, right? And like none of the wires, the spools of wires that we were using would sit on there properly. It would kind of pull off to one side and then you'd have more of drag and friction on the thing. And it's like, no. Like I could literally 3D print bearings that would go inside this thing. And well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take and I'm going to 3D print and design a set of bearings that go on there that work as essentially as a sleeve for the spool of wire that we have access to. And then that way the tension on it is going to be a lot smoother and easier. And then hopefully I'll be able to generate coils easier and faster than I can right now. But the problem is right now, the way it sits and the way it designs, the way it drags and pulls the wire off to the side, you can't get an even tension to Clapton those coils. It is literally, you have to tighten it down so much that you're literally wearing a groove into the brass die that they're using to wrap your coils. So maybe one of these days I'll get around to perfecting it all, and then, you know, I'll sell the new version of the Diadalis, the Hunky coiler. And, you know, we'll all be able to make our own coils very easily because they can't stop selling spools of standard wire that jewelers use to make all kinds of things. I want to empower you guys to be able to make your own coils and never have to worry about the fact that there are no vape shops around you anymore. Because Big Tobacco sells all their stuff that's FDA authorized in every other gas station, convenience store, grocery store, and pharmacy that exists in this country. Anyway. Oh, look. The Kreed's Indulgence Menthol is listed on there as a random recipe to make. Uh-oh. Yep, this sucks. Rocky Tooney is listed on here, and I know that his recipes are always awesome, no matter how simple they may look. So I think, did we do this one already? Tropicana Sun-Kissed Morning? Did I already mix this one up? My recipes. Yes, I already mixed that one up. Well, let's go taste it. I know this is supposed to be, we're going to start a random recipe, but listen, if I already mixed it up, this is the one that I wanted to make. And I already made it. Well, let's go find out how good it tastes. Is this a good recipe? Is it actually strong enough? Does it taste right? Where the hell is it? No, I think this is the one I made on Big Show. And put a label on it. Is that what this is? Kind of tastes like a, not Tic Tac. Yeah. Kind of like a tropical Tic Tac. Breath mint. Candy-esque. Tropical-esque. When did I mix it? That'll be listed. Sunday. Yeah, that's what I mixed for Bic Show, Vaping with Bic. If you guys aren't familiar, he does a Vape Rendezvous show on Sunday mornings, 10 o'clock Eastern time, where you got a bunch of mixers. Cheryl's on there. Brian Ferguson's on there. And there's a guy from the UK on there on a regular basis, plus Bic. I drop in once in a while. Other people drop in once in a while. So go check his show out Sunday mornings. And then tonight, 10 p.m., you'll have to watch it on Rumble or Twitch. Son of Liberty Radio does a show that's exclusively talking about, vape news that's out there. So if that's your cup of tea, you can check out that show too. All right, well, let me pull out a dripper because I want to vape this now. I don't want to just knuckle test this. Is this any good? I got to put a label on that. I'm going to do that before the show's over and this just breaks my heart. Look at that. That's upsetting. However, this might inspire me to 3D scan this and print my own. I have to see what material I can use that won't leach into the liquids. That's why they make these things out of glass. So no matter what chemical formulation you have inside your e-liquid, it's not going to leach into your liquid that you're vaping. I'll have to look into that. I can't print Altum because the chemical formulation of that is what's actually on the build plates to release stuff. But there are plenty of other high temperature stuff out there. I think PETG should be good enough. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I don't want to talk out my ass. All right. I need a dripper. Let's just grab the Wasp Nano and throw some cotton in there. And let's try this recipe. Let's do the simple method. I think this is a 3 mil coil. Favorite. Filled up the box. I still got a couple more bags. I do need to get a hold of Peggy and order some more of that Dr. Cotton since you can't get it on Amazon anymore. Crying shame. Maybe I'll have to look up the information that's on the package. Still in my trash can underneath the desk. And reach out to them. Maybe I will just order a case of it and throw it on my website for sale. It's just cotton. What you choose to use cotton for is beyond my purview as the seller of the cotton. Who dropped in? Stephen Lane, hello and welcome. We're trying out this recipe that I mixed up on Vape Rendezvous. It was created by Rocky Tooney, so I'm assuming it's going to be really good. I remember when I first mixed it up on the Sunday show, I was like, man, this got no flavor to it. It just needs the percentages cranked up. Just double the percentages, change the percentage, the total flavor, the total recipe flavor, concentration. We can adjust it from 5 or 6 or whatever percentage it was to 10% or 15%. And we can use this in a pod system, blah, blah, blah. You dumbass. You should know better by now. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. Here we are now, almost a week later, and the flavor on this is phenomenal, just the way it sits. For, a direct-to-lung experience, you don't touch the recipe. 0.30. I know, I probably should have dry burned that coil before I put this cotton in there, because I just cleaned this thing, and I don't remember if I actually... Come on. Need some real wattage in this for this to work. Now we got it. Now we're making butter. Come on, line everything up. We'll pull out the jackaroo. Throw this on there. Leanda, hello and welcome to the stream. 75 watts, oh my god, no. 0.3 ohms. Wow, that's pretty good. Man, it really sucks that cleaned cotton, cleaned coil flavor. As a purist, you would burn through coils like there's no tomorrow, because as a purist, in order for you to truly understand what this flavored profile tastes like, you cannot judge it using old, cleaned, dry burned coils. You need a fresh set of coils on there with no altering characteristics to it whatsoever. I like that flavor. It's not as good or as punchy as Slurricane, but there's really nothing wrong with that. And yeah, that's what e-liquid can look like if you're using fresh Nick, as opposed to looking like this when you use old Nick. All right, let's turn the airflow down. 2 rows. That really turned up the saturation of this flavor profile, and it is definitely strong enough as it is. So don't listen to what I said on Sunday. It's delicious. It's kind of like if you could have a sweet tart that was tropical, a tropical sweet tart, that's what this tastes like. I really like it, man. Rocky Tooney just nails these things. All right, turn it around. Go back to our random recipe. Let's take a look at what's in this thing. Tropicana Sun-Kissed Morning. All right, so the funky pineapple and the orange pineapple being in there at the same concentration doesn't mean that this is going to be recognizable as a Tropicana orange juice. It just doesn't. And then you compound that with the peach characteristic in there that is not recognizable to my palate as a juicy peach. It just takes this funky pineapple, peach, and orange juice blend and gives you something that's representative of a tropical drink that you would buy on a Friday night for your old lady. Or maybe for yourself. I don't know. I was never into doing the hard shots unless it was, you know, like American Honey when it was anything patriotic. But like most of my drinks that I drank on there, like Blue Dew was blue raspberry, cotton candy vodka, and Mountain Dew. That's the kind of stuff I had. So I had fruit drinks all the time just to try them sometimes. This would be something that I would expect to try as a tropical fruit drink on a Friday night. So the naming convention Tropicana Sun-Kissed Morning is appropriate if you don't expect it to taste like an orange juice or a variation of orange juice. And that's kind of surprising because the total flavor percentage in this is only 8%. And inside of the Wasp Nano Pro, there's plenty of flavor to this. Is this good enough to be a commercial juice the way it sits right there? No. It's not sweet enough, number one. I think it would need to be more punchy to be in line with the juices that we buy nowadays for ourselves, like this Marketplace e-liquid or the Frusion Juice Company or the squeezed line of things, which, by the way, when I was at Brick City Vapor, she had squeezed strawberry. So we're going to be trying that on the vlog on Tuesday. I'm really looking forward to that. She had squeezed strawberry, and there was another squeezed variety that she had. So far, I've had the squeezed green apple. I really love that one. The squeezed peach, I've tried that one. That was really good too, but it wasn't as much of my cup of tea as I thought it was going to be. The squeezed green apple was like, I had to go and hunt that down, and nobody has it anymore. And they changed their labeling. And I understand why they did it. There's states that have enacted rules that you can't put the picture of the fruit on your packaging, which is dumb. If you're buying a strawberry, what difference does it make if there's a picture of a strawberry on the box? No kids are supposed to be in the store in the first place. Anyway, they removed all the graphical representation of what the recipe is supposed to taste like. So the squeezed strawberry is now like a, reddish colored squeezed logo, and strawberry spelled incorrectly is on the package. How does that protect anybody? You're confusing people. If I walk in, I look up on the shelf and didn't recognize them as a squeezed brand product because of how drastically their labeling changed, who are you protecting? You're just hurting people. You're hurting the businesses. You're hurting the people that want to buy these products. I actively seek out squeezed liquids, and especially because, somebody in the vlog mentioned the fact that they went out and they bought a squeezed strawberry. Like, oh, that would be phenomenal. And other people chimed in like, I'm sick of strawberry, man. It's all I ever vaped when I first quit smoking. I feel your pain because I'm the same way with grape flavors now. Like, I got Solus, who is the company that used to make the grape flavor that I vaped for quite some time now. Purple Rain. Different Purple Rain that Kenny vaped. But the Purple Rain was essentially a grape e-liquid. And it was truly recognizable as a grape too, because my daughter kept saying, "Are you still vaping that grape? Can't you like change it up to something else? Don't you have any more of that blue raspberry cotton candy? I really liked that smell when you had it. Reminded me of going to the county fair and getting cotton candy. I'm sick of your grape." That's how much I vaped grape. Not only did I get a food aversion to grape e-liquid, my daughter had an aversion to grape e-liquid. This Sun-Kissed Morning is banger. I would still turn up the percentage from 8 to 10. You don't need to go to 15. But it is way more punchy than I thought it was going to ever turn into. And to sell this commercially, you definitely have to crank the super sweet up to 1%. 0.5% adds for our DIYers that are, trying to keep sensitive palates so that we can DIY fantastic recipes, flavor profiles, and then up the percentages to make them commercially available. Okay, 0.5% was enough to add the sweetness characteristic to it, but it would never sell as a commercial juice. Nobody would want to buy it. They would buy one, they would vape it, they wouldn't throw it away, but they probably wouldn't go back and get it like they do nowadays for these things. Our palate is so accustomed to sickeningly sweet things. Like, I can't get over it. I mean, like even some of the food that we eat, it's just, I found out, here's the thing that really, really shocked me. Yesterday, I found out because I was looking to figure out how can I make my own Jack Link's beef jerky, because I'm sick and tired of having to pay $20 to get a package of 100-calorie beef jerkies. I'm like, this has got to be cheaper for me to make myself. Like, I could go to Giant Eagle, buy a piece of steak, and like marinate it in whatever seasoning I need to marinate it in, teriyaki or whatever. Like, I need to figure out how to make this myself. Because for $20, I can make a whole bunch of beef jerky, and then I can portion it out myself. Little Ziploc bags, snack bags. I don't need to buy the commercial stuff. Like everything else, I DIY myself. I was so shocked to find out that the reason why that beef jerky is so tender and so addictive, I flipped the package around and look at the ingredients. Beef is number 1, obviously. Number 2, sugar. Number 3, brown sugar. What? You have as much sugar and brown sugar in there as you do meat? Like, the teriyaki is clear down on the bottom of the packaging thing because you got a bunch of preservatives that come next, and then you have your seasoning ingredients. No wonder that thing is so bloody addictive. It's candy. It's meat candy. I thought it was beef jerky, like you dehydrated, seasoned beef, and that's what we were eating. No, you're eating beef candy when you buy Jack Link's beef jerky. So I'm still going to try and make my own. But the expectation of me to have something that's going to taste exactly like that is gone, shot out the window, because I don't want to eat beef candy. I want to eat beef jerky. And I've had beef jerky that was made naturally, like venison jerky, for example. And like, I know for a fact that they don't use pounds of sugar and pounds of brown sugar and pounds of molasses to season the beef jerky or the venison jerky. Yeah, that doesn't hold. Like, if I had some beef jerky and I vaped this would be like, oh, that's not sweet. That's not sweet at all. That's like barely flavored. So yeah, that would make this one a commercial recipe. But it is a beautiful flavor profile, and it really holds true to what the knuckle test is. The knuckle test tastes sweet enough, but that's because when you knuckle test it, you're also tasting the sweetness of your vegetable glycerin. The sweetness of vegetable glycerin, once you aerosolize that vegetable glycerin, does not exist in that flavor profile. Like if you were to just vape plain vegetable glycerin, there would be no sweetness to it whatsoever. Maybe you could recognize a hint of it with a piece of spitback that you would get off your coil. But other than that, there's no recognizable sweetness to it. That's why we use sucralose and ethyl maltol, sweeten things up, or neotame, because that survives the vaporization process. The sweetness inside the vegetable glycerin doesn't. All right, going back, let's hit instant rewind and let's find ourselves another recipe to mix up. There's the pony on acid. We talked about that before. Let me just mix something that's a banger. Let's sort this by rating. Oh, Neil Pitts, white grape tangerine. We mixed that one up before. Oh, these are my recipes. No, I don't want to search my recipes. I want to search the random recipe. Come on. My flavor stash. Did I not even push this button yet? What can I make? Yes. Okay. Yeah, there's our list. Kreed's Indulgence Menthol. We already mixed that up. Tropicana Sunkissed Morning. We tried that one up. Lucky Charms cereal. Oh, this is just essentially a one shot with some marshmallow. Lucky Leprechaun cereal from TPA at 7. Marshmallow, TPA at 1. And I'm curious whether that marshmallow actually adds to the cereal recipe or whether it doesn't, because marshmallow isn't something you can definitely recognize as marshmallow. It's also used more like a flavor enhancer than it is as a recognizable ingredient. It's such a soft flavor profile. And sweet cream at 2%. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to taste that for a month anyway. No. Let's do something that's more of along the lines of a shake and vape. So let's hit this one by rating. And let's look at some of the old classics out there, no matter how old they are. Element Pink Lemonade Clone, my all-day vape. 81, 5-star rated. You know what? This is the end of the summer. I'm typically trying to seek out like fall flavors already at this point, but let's do one last one for summer. Shall we? Element Pink Lemonade Clone, my all-day vape, put out by Micah back in 2016. 2016, this may actually be developed like a commercial juice. Percentage on this is 14%. Okay. Okay. Super sweets at 1%. Okay. Key lime 1. Oh, I love key lime flavor. Lemonade from Flavora. Not one of the best lemonade flavors out there, but it is a good lemonade flavor. That's at 3%. Cold pressed lime Tahiti, 2%. We've got 2 different limes in there. Marshmallow, 1.5% from Flavor Art. That's definitely going to round it out and pillowy the whole recipe thing. Soften it up, because that lemon and lime combination is going to be kind of abrasive. Sweet strawberry from Capella at 2.5. Okay. Sweet tangerine from Capella at 2. And vanilla swirl to bring it all together. And that, what is this? I like it, man. That really looks cool. So what's this? This is mixed up at a 3. Sure. I'm just going to mix this the way it is. I'm going to hit edit and not change anything. Adapt this, save. Defaults to 10. No. Yeah, I got 30 ml bottle next to me. I don't have to go looking for it. Yeah, okay, it defaulted to 6 because that's what I normally make. Okay, fine. Save. Let's mix this. Let's mix this up. Key lime from TPA. I need to go get these things. Hi. Are you not looking at the ceiling? Hi. Normal tracking. Can you try and follow me here, buddy? Yeah. What's going on? Why isn't that switching? I don't know why it's not switching. So we'll modify the scene projector, put that up there so I can see what the heck is going on. We'll zoom that in. Those are the ingredients I need to get me hands on. All right, TPA, key lime, and vanilla swirl. Very good, very good. Flavor art, lime Tahiti cold pressed. As opposed to distilled. Flavor art marshmallow. All right. Sweet strawberry and sweet tangerine from Capella. Very good. And vanilla swirl from TPA. I got that one already. Awesome. We got what we need to mix this up. Helps if I push the right buttons. All right, there's our lovely ingredients. $30 ml bottle. Tear that out. I've forgotten how reliant I get on the automation. That's better. Okay. Secret sauce. We'll start with that. 1.86. That's why I always start with the secret sauce first, because you can always pull it back out if you go over. Close enough. Look, she floated to the right amount anyway. Key lime would be the first one on the list. 0.31. Almost. So she did end up float there, and now she floated over as I speak. Okay, lemonade from Flavora. Did I not get lemonade from Flavora? Of course I didn't. Yeah, I knew I was missing something. Flavora lemonade, not lemon tea. Lemonade, Flavora. Oh, for lemonade from Flavora, we need 0.93. Turn the fan off so that the scale can actually have a fighting chance of getting us something consistent. All right, lime Tahiti comes next. This is cold pressed as opposed to distilled. I don't know what the difference is. Haven't had enough experience with them. Definitely smells like a beautiful lime. Mojito, maybe? 0.62. This is another one of those flavorings I would expect there to be some malic acid in. Whether it actually does or not, I don't know. I don't have a gas chromatograph to be able to test it. If you did, you could replicate most of this stuff. Marshmallow from Flavor Art. 0.47. Trying to look at the chat here. Most of the devices that will be available in Pennsylvania. Most of the devices will be available in Pennsylvania. Please fact check me on that. I would love to find out for sure whether it's going to be or not. I do know that the list that they created for Pennsylvania is much bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's not just currently FDA authorized products. There's a bunch of e-liquid manufacturers that put in for PMTA and got denied and actually fought it. And because they fought it or were part of the lawsuit against the FDA, they got to stay on the market. So technically they can be eligible to be put on the PMTA registry list as long as they pay their extortion license every year. So like the list is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I literally thought of, maybe a couple hundred things. I've heard rumors that it's literally going to be a couple thousand things, but I still think it's a crying shame that it is not whatever people want to sell. Like, there's 40,000 products available for sale in the UK. When is the United States going to get to the point where we have more than 10,000 products that are legally authorized available for sale in this country? At the current rate that the FDA is processing things and dealing with things in an individual basis, we'll never see that number in the United States. We'll be lucky to ever cross 100. And it shouldn't be that way for something that isn't going to kill you. But, you know, it's okay to have 5,000 different products that will kill you, or at least half of the people that use it as directed. And those ones are automatically grandfathered in because it's substantially equivalent to something that we know is going to kill you. But if your product doesn't kill somebody, or at least half of your users, then you need to get authorized to, you know, come onto the market. What? No. No. I don't buy into that. Sweet Strawberry Capella, 0.75. And quite honestly, there's a lot of vape shops that don't know anything about these laws that have come into place, and they don't care to know because they're too worried about being able to keep their business in operation, about satisfying their consumer demand. When a customer comes in and asks for something, they will do their best to try and accommodate them and try and get it if it's within their power to do so. But, or they are like the one vape shop I have visited here in Strongsville. You walk in and the guy's nephew's working there that doesn't know anything about anything and has to call his uncle every time that somebody asks a question. And, you know, his answer to the average person that comes in there, I mean, granted, most vape shop customers that come in there know exactly what they want. And they buy the same thing all the time. And they ask for something specific. And his only real concern is whether he can find it or not. There aren't too many people like me that walk in and go, hey, man, can I get a retro vape? We don't sell retro vape brand. What are you talking about? Like something from 10 years ago? Why would you want something from 10 years ago? Okay, whatever. Sweet Tangerine. 0.54. Ooh. This is not good. I'm going to have to decant this into a smaller bottle. It just come pouring out of there. Nice. And vanilla swirl. Uh-oh. Okay. I thought that lid was busted again, like some of the other ones I've come across lately. 0.32. Vanilla swirl takes a while to blossom inside of a recipe. You can, this is one of the ones where you can recognize it right away. You recognize the vanilla part of it. You don't get the creamy characteristics of it. This is like a vanilla frosting. But it continues to develop and change like a custard does. It is in that characteristic like a custard or like a cheesecake. It continues to blossom and change over time. Settles in about 2 months later and remains relatively stable and consistent, but after 6 months, it starts to muddle the whole recipe. I know this from firsthand experience when I made my strawberry shortcake recipe. Because I broke it down into the strawberries and the cake characteristics, the custardy fillings and stuff like that, and mixed them up as 3 separate parts of the recipe and let them age, and then evaluated each of them as they aged. And alongside that, I had a bottle of it that was aging along with it, and then tasted it. You know, a month later, I tasted each of those 3, and then I tasted what the strawberry shortcake recipe tasted like, so I could identify what parts of those, like the strawberry or the cake or the custard, sat in that recipe profile. And then it was like, when I got done with that experiment, that literally, I kept going on with it for about a year. I finally got to the point where I was like, you really can't predict this. I don't care how well you know your individual flavors. There's no way to predict what it's going to be like in 6 months or a year. Nobody knows how each of these thousands of flavoring ingredients that we have in a recipe interacts with other flavoring ingredients in that flavor profile. You can just mix the profile, test it at a month, test it at 2, 3, 6, 12, and hope that it is a stable recipe. Oh, I seriously question how many of the people that make and sell commercial e-liquid go to that extent. I think honestly they just come up with a banger recipe, they taste it again in a month, and then go, okay, we're selling this. I don't know. I'm not part of the industry, so I can't say for sure because I don't know of anybody specifically that has their own juice brand that they're selling. All right, we got all of our flavoring ingredients in there. We just need some super sweet, which should be sitting here on my desk. 0.32. Wayne might be able to tell you how some of these things work, but he's MIA. I hope the guy's all right. There's our super sweet. And now we need some vegetable glycerin. We're looking at 3 mils of it. So I can use my little 120 ml bottle of PG to come up with 3.11. Get us to the 30%. Give that a nice stir. See what this smells like. Ooh, is that punchy? Ooh, is that a fragrant recipe? Wow. I am really impressed so far. I haven't even tasted it yet. 26.5. I don't know why I look. 70% of a 30 ml bottle is always going to be 26.5. Why do I even look? We only modify the PG based ingredients. And I always just fill it up to the brim. So what difference does it make? It's not actually going to be 14% in my bottle. I didn't mix it right. Didn't look at the scale. Give it a nice shake.
Gonna stay in this moment. Gonna lay here on the grass.
Come on.
I don't need to feel lonely. I am finally home at last.
Wow.
And I don't mind being gone
That does not taste like a pink lemonade.
for a while. No, no.
It's got like this pillowy, puffy, beautiful
Thing about it is I know
cotton candy-esque.
oh, oh. Of all the magic places in the world I've been to, this is where
Where's the lime?
you know it's true.
Where's the lemon?
I go, I'm coming.
There's a sourness to this,
Been walking down this
but it literally smells like you were standing in front of cotton candy being spun.
what I do, I'm coming home to you. And
It's got some
I don't know why
beautiful fruitiness to it.
I'm always feeling homesick. Oh. All I know is this is where my heart
Wow.
is. Oh.
This has got to be available commercially somewhere. It's got to be.
I've seen many places where the beauty never ends.
Pink lemonade. It doesn't smell like a pink lemonade. It doesn't taste like a pink lemonade.
City's friendly face,
It doesn't taste like a lemonade.
perhaps I'm going back. But I
Sweet tarts is what this smells like. You open up a package of sweet tarts.
dream
You take that and bend that towards cotton candy. This is gorgeous. This is as good as Slurricane. For sure. This is what it tastes like on the shake. What is this going to taste like tomorrow? It's sweet. It's sour. It's fruity. And then it like melds into something that gives you the same pucker factor that lemonade would give you or a pink lemonade would give you. But the sweetness is still subtly there, preventing it from pulling you into the gutter. God, this is gorgeous. Holy cow, that is definitely a 5-star recipe. Let me go show you. There you go, man. If you got the ingredients to mix this, I highly recommend you give this a try. Wow. Where's my coffee? There's one part in the back of my tongue that lime, the lime Tahiti is really tingling and like clamping down on to trigger like that soury umami characteristic. It's not just a singular flavor profile that it's grabbing. But I mean, this is like as punchy as eating sweet tarts would be. But it's got like this fruity, tropical, orangey. I don't know, man. What a beautiful blend of fruits. I would have never guessed it was going to be this good. And that marshmallow that's in there adds that pillowy characteristic. It's like biting into, a Lucky Charms freeze-dried marshmallow. But it's beyond that. It's a different kind of pillowy characteristic. It just works. This is... I am so glad we mixed this today. Look at the circumstances that led to this. No, it doesn't taste like that. Maybe I just never tasted that your pink lemonade that you're drinking. This is amazing. I bet there'd be a lot of people to be turned away from pink lemonade unless you live down in the south and you had this on a regular basis. But up here in the north, man, you want pink lemonade? No, don't you have regular lemonade? Yeah, just sugar water, a little lemon flavor to it. No, this is gorgeous. I see myself making 120 ml bottles of this. I really do. And here I am speaking out of my ass because I literally just mixed it, shook it, and said, okay, this is what we're doing. My first impression is 10 out of a 10. What it's going to be like tomorrow? I don't see it changing below at most a 9. On a 5-star rating system, it's going to be a 4.5. So that means it's 95, not 90. But, man, this is freaking awesome. Open. We need to swap the cassette out because we're going to put this Element Pink Lemonade. That must be a brand that he had bought and tried to make a clone of it. And I don't know if it tastes anything like the original that you tried to make it a clone of, but I know it's a banger for sure. Born on date is 8/28. You had pink lemonade growing up in Maine. That's up north. Okay, you're right. But I do like most other people do. I speak out my ass because I'm only talking about my personal experience, and I just assume everybody had the same experience as me. Experience has taught me that's not true. That's nowhere near true. I live a sheltered life, and I need to admit that. Mom did buy pink lemonade when we were growing up as a kid, and it was just something that didn't really appeal to me, so maybe that's why I've got such a pessimistic view of pink lemonade. and just figured everybody had that same pessimistic view, even though it's not true. Pink lemonade might be the most popular type of lemonade out there. I try to take things from other people's perspective, but when your point of reference is so distant from what theirs is, you're not going to be accurate. Yeah, man, that last recipe kind of falls flat. In comparison to this pink lemonade, yeah. Let's saturate that coil. Let's print this label for this pink lemonade. 828, and this is episode 10 for the Flavorist Diary, TFD. I'm just going to abbreviate TFD 10. And I need to turn the printer on, switch cassettes. Massachusetts, not Maine. Don't you know your state abbreviations? No, I don't. I get them mixed up. Masshole. I know a lot of people call Massachusetts masshole. Then again, a lot of us, berate our own state because what they're doing is utterly preposterous. Like I talked about on the news the other day, not the other day, 2 weeks ago now, about how the Ohio Attorney General tried to shut down vape shops because they were selling not FDA authorized products. And they took them to court and says, you have no say so on whether we sell FDA authorized products or not. You can't hold that against us. There's no state law that we're breaking. And you are not responsible for enforcing the federal laws, the Food and Drug and Cosmetic Act. That's not your purview. Unless Ohio creates a law that makes it yours, you do not have those powers. And they sued them. And they're winning so far, from what I heard. But that's always a threat that we face ourselves, face being under. Okay, print. What's taking so long? Not hitting print. I do that too with my 3D printers, man. I set things up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make like 10 of these ones put up available for sale on the website. I want to make 10 of these ones. I got 10 little clickers that I made. And Christmas decorations. I'm just printing whatever and I'm just going to sell them as assorted stuff. And I try to have my printers running around the clock. It's a manufacturing facility. The more you make, the more chance you have to sell them and make money. And it does nobody any good to just sit there doing nothing. And like, I'll go make dinner. I'm like, I come back in. I'm like, oh, how's that print going? Not doing anything. And I come in here and I'm like, you had to hit print before you went and made dinner. Eventually I get it to the point where they're going to be automated. Hot diggity dog diggity. Throw a nice label on this thing so I know what she is. I do want to thank you, Cheryl, for correcting me, because I don't always realize sometimes the things I say are absolutely wrong. It's like I was rewatching one of the previous episodes of the vlog. It was one of the things I just had playing in the background. And in it, we were talking about pumpkins. This was last fall. Kenny and I were talking about pumpkins, and then we were talking about how they carve them and they don't actually eat them and whatever. And I'm like, listen, if you're going to carve a pumpkin, you got to pull the seeds out of the middle of the pumpkin. And I was talking out of my ass saying that, you need to heat it at 250 degrees Celsius. No, you can't. That's like 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Or even hotter. No, that's wrong. I try to talk in like Celsius, like I know what I'm talking about, but that's so easy to get screwed up. 350 degrees Celsius is what we put the pumpkin seeds in after we clean them and wash them out of the pumpkin to roast them to eat roasted pumpkin seeds. And during the show, I said, heat it up to 250 Celsius. Yeah, your pumpkin seeds will be done in 10 minutes, and they're not going to be nice roasted. They're probably going to instant burn. You need to roast them a lot slower than that. So, yeah, I'm definitely wrong as much as I'm right sometimes. But I try to do good. I try to make improvements and try to be accommodating to my ignorance. Okay, Tropicana Sun-Kissed Morning. I got to put this label on this bottle before it gets lost on my desk with the other ones. So, just throw it on screen so you see what I'm doing. This is the name. And born on date was Sunday, the 22nd. And this is the Vape Rendezvous. I don't know what episode it was. I'll just put Bic. And we'll hit print. Oh, I need to change that logo. That logo is no longer accurate. Hunky Vape ended in Pennsylvania. Hunky V is in Ohio. Not that I won't have a studio set up there. It's not going to be like this. It's just simply going to be with like a basic computer at a desk with a webcam. Probably the Elgato Facecam 4K. Because I got enough extra lights and stuff. My basement bedroom is going to have that desk set up in there so that like I can join Bic on a Sunday morning and hang out with my kids on the weekends when I go visit. Or if I go there on a Friday and Patrick needs me to join him on his show, I can just do it from there instead of like right now. If I want to do Patrick or Bic show, I have to stay here in Ohio in order to have a computer and a camera that I can be a part of the show. So I will have a studio set up there. It's not going to be the full-fledged one. I can't do like a vlog there. But yeah, getting to the point where everything is getting settled into what the new current state of affairs is and what it's going to be for at least the next 2 years. Still not determined whether I'm staying here in Ohio or not after the 2 years is done. I would love to just say, yes, I'm going to, but I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone 6 months from now or 2 years from now. That's one thing this whole experience has taught me is you don't know what tomorrow brings. You have no clue. And there's no way that you can predict where you're going to be in 4 hours, let alone 2 years. It's not a bad recipe. When you get spit back in your mouth, it's punchy enough to be enjoyable, but it's not as good as this Element Lemonade. And I certainly don't want to mix that with the tobacco recipes that were mixed up earlier. Holy cow! Man, is that a punchy thing. It totally obliterates that other recipe. You can crank the wattage up to 35, try and burn off some of that excess because I saturated that coil. What a delicious set of recipes we mixed up today. And I did finally solve what we're going to do to mix for our friend. And I'm just literally going to take the stuff we already made and just make him a 60 ml bottle of it, send it over his way. And I am going to send him one of this pink lemonade. I'm not going to call it a pink lemonade. I'll just call it Element Pink. Pink Elephant. That's what I should call it. Pink Elephant. Let's see what he thinks of it. Let him figure out what flavor profile it really is and see if he likes that better or if he still wants to stick with his ordinary menthol tobacco. But I don't want this show to go on forever. It could be easy for me to sit here and just keep chatting and mixing and whatever. We hit the 2-hour mark plus 20%. So it's time for me to say, auf Wiedersehen, adieu, farewell. Peace, love, and a hunky vape is my wish to all of you guys to end cigarette smoking. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I will be back here on Tuesday for another episode of the Mixing and Chilling vlog. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week again for a fresh round.
California, the sun is always shining bright.